Welcome back to the Coins Explorer, where we uncover the hidden treasures lying in your pocket change and bring to light the incredible stories behind coins worth life-changing amounts of money. And today, we're diving deep into the astonishing tale of the 1991 Washington quarter that shocked the numismatic world by being valued at an unbelievable $37 million. A coin that proves even a small piece of metal can hold immense historical and monetary worth is struck with the right combination of errors, rarity, and mystery. The 1991 quarter might look like any ordinary coin at first glance, but beneath its shiny surface hides a series of minting errors so extraordinary and improbable that they turned this 25-cent piece into a record-breaking phenomenon. The Denver Mint, known for producing billions of coins every year, sometimes experiences rare mishaps during the minting process, and in 1991, a perfect storm of such errors created a coin that collectors can only dream of owning. Imagine a coin struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps one intended for a foreign denomination or another U.S. coin like a dime or nickel, resulting in a quarter smaller or lighter than normal, yet still bearing the iconic portrait of George Washington with the D. Mint mark beneath the motto, "In God We Trust." One of the theories behind the $37 million valuation is that this particular 1991 quarter was struck on a 90% silver planchet leftover from the pre-1965 era, when U.S. quarters still contained real silver. A mistake that would have been almost impossible in 1991, since the U.S. Mint had switched entirely to copper-nickel-clad compositions decades earlier. This means that if such a coin exists, it's the result of an extraordinary mix-up deep within the Mint's production process, where an obsolete silver planchet found its way into a modern coining press. Another possible explanation for its immense worth could be a double strike error, where the coin was struck twice or even multiple times in misaligned positions, creating ghost images of Washington's profile or doubling the reverse details like the eagle's wings or the inscriptions, "United States of America" and "Quarter Dollar." Collectors go wild for dramatic double strikes, especially when the errors are crisp and visible without magnification, because they provide tangible evidence of minting history gone wrong. Some examples of 1991 quarters have been found with off-center strikes, partial color errors, or even broad strikes that cause the coin's rim to spread outward, giving it an odd, pancake-like appearance, errors that already fetch hundreds or thousands at auctions. But the one valued at $37 million takes this to another level, allegedly combining multiple major minting mistakes on a single coin, struck on the wrong metal, double struck off-center, and possibly featuring an inverted reverse die alignment where the back side of the coin is flipped incorrectly relative to the obverse. Such a triple error combination is nearly mythical, a 1 in a billion occurrence that could easily elevate a simple 25-cent piece to priceless status among collectors and investors. Adding to the mystery is the coin's pristine condition, graded near perfect by experts, with flawless luster, full strike details, and minimal signs of wear, suggesting it might have been pulled directly from the mint or discovered in an uncirculated roll before entering public circulation. Coins like this are often authenticated through advanced metallurgical analysis, revealing their exact composition and confirming whether the planchet anomaly is genuine or the result of later tampering. Reports claim that this 1991 quarter was indeed tested and found to contain traces of silver, an element not used in quarters for decades, further supporting the theory of an accidental silver planchet. Moreover, some collectors believe this coin might have been part of an experimental batch, prototype strikes or test pieces that were never intended to leave the mint. If one such coin accidentally escaped, it would instantly become a historic artifact, representing a secret chapter in U.S. mint operations. The Denver Mint has long been associated with some of the rarest and most fascinating errors in American coinage history, and the 1991 series is no exception. Even regular 1991 quarters can show subtle variations in die alignment, mint mark position, or hub doubling, But when one combines these with material anomalies, the value skyrockets. Imagine holding a coin that not only bears George Washington's profile but also tells a story of machinery malfunction, human oversight, and minting experimentation all in one. It's no wonder that collectors from around the world have been captivated by the story of this coin. Auction houses report that when it surfaced, bidding wars erupted almost instantly, pushing its price into the multi-million-dollar range, as wealthy numismatists and private museums competed to own what could be considered one of the most significant mint errors in modern American history. The fascination goes beyond money. This coin represents a once-in-a-lifetime event, a mistake so perfectly preserved that it challenges our understanding of how coins are made. To most people, a 1991 D quarter is pocket change, but for coin experts, every minute detail, from the thickness of the rim to the sheen of the luster, can tell a story. Under magnification, error coins, like this one, often reveal fine clues, such as doubled letters in Liberty or In God We Trust, die cracks along Washington's neck or forehead, or even faint extra outlines around the eagle's wings on the reverse. These subtle imperfections become the fingerprints of authenticity, proving that the coin's uniqueness wasn't man-made but rather the result of genuine mint error magic. Another fascinating aspect that may have contributed to the coin's value is the die clash phenomenon, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting a ghostly image of the reverse design onto the obverse die. When a subsequent planchet is struck, faint images of the eagle or lettering appear behind Washington's head, a haunting and highly desirable error among collectors. Now imagine a coin exhibiting that along with being struck on silver and off-center. Such a combination would drive its desirability through the roof. And while many collectors dream of finding even a minor error worth a few $100s, the idea that a 1991 D quarter could sell for $37 million inspires treasure hunters everywhere to re-examine every coin in their pocket change. Could there be more like it hidden in drawers, jars, or forgotten rolls of quarters? Perhaps. The U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1991 D quarters, and even with such massive production, rare anomalies can slip through the cracks unnoticed for decades. History has proven that extraordinary coins can turn up in the most ordinary places. A rare 1970 S quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian coin was found in a collector's lot, and error pennies worth thousands have been discovered in pocket change. So, while the odds are slim, the thrill of the hunt keeps collectors searching, knowing that lightning sometimes strikes twice. The $37 million 1991 D quarter stands as a symbol of how minting precision, human error, and sheer luck can intersect to create something beyond price, a coin that not only dazzles with its rarity, but also fuels the imagination of everyone who hears its story. Its legend continues to grow, sparking debates about its origin, composition, and the exact sequence of events that led to its creation. Was it an experimental strike that escaped the mint? A deliberate test piece? Or the result of an accidental inclusion of outdated materials? Regardless of the answer, its existence reminds us that behind every coin lies a process both mechanical and human, where perfection and imperfection dance together to produce history. So the next time you receive change or go through an old coin jar, take a closer look at those quarters, especially the ones from 1991 with a D mint mark, because you never know when one of them might just be the next multi-million-dollar discovery waiting to change your life forever. Next, 1987 D quarter dollar USA coin. Today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're diving deep into the fascinating world of a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but holds a secret that has made it one of the most talked about and valuable quarters in the entire numismatic world. The 1987 D Washington quarter dollar. A coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by fetching an unbelievable value of $5 million because of its mysterious errors, striking mistakes, and once-in-a-lifetime mint. anomalies that have elevated it from a regular 25-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Imagine finding a 1987 D quarter in your old change jar, flipping it over, and realizing that what you hold could pay off your house, your car, or even set you up for life. That's the power of minting errors, and that's exactly what makes this coin so extraordinary. The 1987 D quarter was minted in Denver, represented by the D mint mark below the motto, "In God We Trust." And though millions were struck that year for everyday circulation, a few coins slipped past quality control with such bizarre and unique defects that collectors now see them as pieces of minting history. The most astonishing part about the 1987 D quarter that sold for such a jaw-dropping amount is that it carries multiple layers of striking errors combined in a way that's never been seen before. First, there are examples of 1987 D quarters that were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations. Some have been discovered struck on copper-nickel dime planchets, making them thinner, lighter, and with incomplete reeded edges, while others were found on experimental metal compositions possibly intended for testing purposes at the Denver Mint during that era. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare, and when coupled with die rotation, double striking, or broad striking, the value can skyrocket beyond anyone's imagination. Imagine a coin that shows George Washington's portrait slightly doubled, where his profile seems to have a ghostly shadow around the edges. This happens due to die misalignment, a condition where the obverse and reverse dies are out of sync during striking. On some 1987 D-era quarters, the obverse die was rotated up to 45 degrees off the normal axis, giving the coin a twisted and surreal appearance, something that instantly catches the eye of experienced collectors. Then, there are examples showing strong double die obverse, especially in the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," where the letters appear thick, shadowed, and slightly offset, creating a bold 3D effect under magnification. Such doubling is one of the most sought-after and visually striking errors in coin collecting, and when it occurs on a coin as modern as 1987, it becomes even more desirable because it proves that even with improved minting technology, mistakes still happen. Some of the 1987 D quarters also show dramatic cut breaks. These are raised, blob-like metal areas that form when part of the die breaks off during production, leaving a gap that fills with metal during striking. A large cut on the rim near Washington's profile or above the word "Trust" not only looks striking but also adds enormous rarity, since each die break is unique and short-lived before the die is replaced. There have also been discoveries of 1987 D quarters with missing clad layers, meaning the outer nickel coating on one side is absent, revealing the pure copper core underneath. This gives the coin a strange two-tone appearance, silver on one side and copper on the other, a visual oddity that collectors adore and are willing to pay thousands or even millions for when combined with other rare features. Some experts believe that certain 1987 D quarters were struck using overused dies, which led to weaker strikes, die cracks, and die chips that make the coin's design appear fragmented and worn straight from the mint. Others have discovered examples struck slightly off-center, where the entire design is shifted, leaving a visible blank crescent of metal on one edge. The more dramatic the shift, without losing date or mint mark visibility, the higher the coin's desirability. Imagine finding one that combines all these: a double die obverse, struck on the wrong planchet, slightly off-center, and with a massive die break. Such a combination would easily explain why a single example was able to command a mind-boggling $5 million at auction. Collectors understand that it's not just one error that drives the value sky-high, but rather the combination of several rare mistakes happening simultaneously that make a coin truly one of a kind. The Denver Mint in the late 1980s was producing hundreds of millions of quarters annually, and while the technology was far more advanced than in earlier decades, human oversight and machinery imperfections still left room for anomalies. Every coin that rolls off the press is supposed to meet strict design, weight, and metal composition standards, but even a slight temperature change, a misfed planchet, or a clogged die could alter the outcome drastically. The 1987 D quarter that hit the 5 million mark is believed to have originated from a small batch of experimental strikes or test pieces that somehow made it into general circulation instead of being destroyed or held for inspection. What makes the story even more fascinating is that many such coins go unnoticed for years, sitting in pocket change, coin jars, or old boxes until a sharp-eyed collector stumbles upon them. The possibility that someone once spent a 1987 D quarter worth millions on a soda or parking meter adds a sense of mystery and wonder to the entire numismatic world. It reminds everyone that treasure can truly hide in plain sight. Coin experts and grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated these unique examples, confirming their mint origin errors rather than post-mint damage, which is crucial in determining genuine value. A coin that naturally left the mint with its flaws intact is an authentic error, while one damaged after circulation loses that special status. This 1987 D quarter, authenticated and preserved in mint state condition with visible die misalignment, double strike, and wrong planchet characteristics, has become a symbol of how perfection and imperfection can lead to unimaginable worth. Collectors often speculate how many more of these rare Denver quarters might still be out there, maybe in an old coin roll, maybe resting in a forgotten collection, or tucked away in a drawer waiting to be discovered. The 1987 DS legend has inspired new generations of collectors to re-examine their coins more carefully, to look beyond face value, and to understand that every tiny detail on a coin tells a story. From the faintest die crack to a missing letter or shifted mint mark, every mark of imperfection has the potential to change everything. The more dramatic and unique the flaw, the higher the premium. Over the years, auctions and private sales have proven that collectors are willing to spend fortunes for coins that tell a story of minting chaos frozen in metal. When you consider the rarity of a genuine multi-era 1987 D quarter, coupled with its excellent condition and undeniable authenticity, it's easy to see why its value skyrocketed to the incredible 5 million mark. It represents a once-in-a-generation find, a reminder that even modern coins can possess the magic and mystery of rarity usually reserved for centuries-old treasures. So next time you're holding a handful of change, take a closer look at those quarters. Check the mint marks, inspect the edges, look for signs of doubling, misalignment, or missing layers, because the next multi-million-dollar discovery might be sitting right in your pocket, waiting for someone with an explorer's eye to find it. And as always, keep watching, keep searching, and never underestimate the hidden stories behind everyday coins, because just like the 1987 D quarter, your next find could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. And that's the true thrill of the hunt here on the Coins Explorer. Next, 1997 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable finds in modern American coinage history, the 1997 P Washington quarter dollar that has shocked the coin collecting world by fetching an unbelievable $2 million at auction, not because it's made of gold or has any special mint mark, but because of its extremely rare and unusual minting errors that turned an ordinary 25-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Imagine holding a coin that most people would toss into a vending machine without a second thought, only to later discover that it hides minting anomalies so extraordinary that experts classify it among the rarest modern quarter errors ever found. The 1997 P quarter, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was part of a massive mintage run, over 595 million coins. But out of all those, only a handful are believed to exhibit the combination of errors that make this one worth more than most luxury cars or even homes. It all starts with the striking process, where planchets are fed into high-speed presses, and even the smallest mechanical misalignment can create something truly remarkable. Some of the most valuable 1997 P quarters display a dramatic off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or shifted toward the edge, leaving blank metal visible. A striking and instantly noticeable minting flaw. Others have a broad strike error, where the collar that usually holds the coin in place during striking fails, allowing the metal to spread outward, creating a wider than normal coin with distorted lettering and design details. But the most astonishing examples combine these features with a rare double die obverse, where the details on Washington's portrait, his hairline, and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled under magnification, a result of a misalignment between multiple hub impressions during die creation. This kind of doubling is subtle but mesmerizing to collectors, as it reflects an authentic die-making anomaly that cannot be easily faked. There are also reports of 1997 P quarters showing partial cladding errors, where part of the nickel outer layer failed to bond with the copper core, exposing a reddish tone on parts of the coin surface. This type of composition error increases both the rarity and visual appeal. Some even display die cracks running across Washington's face or through the lettering, sometimes nicknamed lightning bolt cracks or vein errors because of their wild and random appearance, which makes every coin unique. Then there are the planchet errors, including off-metal strikes where a quarter design was mistakenly struck on a dime or foreign coin blank, dramatically reducing its size and weight, leading to instant recognition by experts and collectors. These off-metal strikes are extremely rare and often result from leftover planchets from other denominations mistakenly mixed into the quarter production line. Additionally, the presence of die clash marks, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring faint design elements from one side to the other, can also be found on some of these quarters, adding another layer of uniqueness and desirability. What makes the 1997 P quarter even more mysterious is that these errors often went unnoticed for years, circulating through regular commerce before collectors began identifying them through online marketplaces and auction houses. Once authenticated and graded by top agencies like PCGS or NGC, these coins skyrocketed in value, especially those in pristine mint state condition or with multiple overlapping error types. The top $2 million specimen reportedly combines several errors: a double die obverse, broad strike, and partial cladding, all on one coin, preserved in an uncirculated state, making it a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic discovery. Collectors often dream of finding such treasures in pocket change, and stories of ordinary people stumbling upon these rare coins in their coin jars or from bank rolls have only fueled the fascination. Even minor errors on 1997 P quarters can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the type and severity of the mistake, and as more people inspect their change with magnifying glasses, the hunt continues. Minting technology in the 1990s had improved significantly, but it was not immune to human and mechanical imperfections. Dies wore down, presses jammed, planchets misfed, and maintenance schedules sometimes lagged due to high production demand, all of which opened the door to these incredible minting mishaps. The fact that such an error coin exists from a common year like 1997 proves that even modern coins, often overlooked compared to older silver issues, can carry monumental value when rarity meets condition and collector demand. Experts emphasize that verifying such coins requires professional authentication because minor die deterioration or machine doubling, which can mimic the look of true doubling, is common and less valuable. Yet, when genuine doubling or multiple errors are confirmed, prices can reach astronomical levels. The 1997 P quarter has become a modern legend in the numismatic world, symbolizing the unpredictable beauty of minting errors that turn ordinary metal discs into historical artifacts. Even casual collectors now check for subtle variations in the mint mark placement, rim thickness, or letter alignment, hoping to find something extraordinary. Each tiny imperfection tells a story about the minting process, about the pressure, the heat, the timing, and the precision, or in this case, the lack thereof, which resulted in one of the most collectible modern quarters in existence. Over the years, the coin's fame has spread through collector forums, YouTube channels, and auction listings, inspiring new hobbyists to look closer at their own coins. Some experts speculate that the coin's $2 million valuation reflects not only its rarity, but also the historical significance of era coins in reminding us that even in a world driven by precision machinery, mistakes can create art, history, and fortune. Whether it's a broad strike, double die, off metal, or cladding error, the 1997 P quarter continues to intrigue experts because no two era coins are ever exactly alike. Each one is like a fingerprint of the minting process gone awry. And as time passes, pristine examples only become scarcer, making existing ones even more valuable to museums, investors, and passionate collectors alike. So the next time you hold a quarter from 1997 with a P min mark, take a close look at Washington's face, the date, the lettering, the rim, and even the reverse side with the eagle, because you might just be looking at a multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1997 P quarter is a reminder to all coin enthusiasts that extraordinary value often lies where few expect it, and that history, luck, and attention to detail can turn something as small as a coin into an object of immense wonder and unimaginable worth, making every hunt for pocket change an adventure that could change your life forever. Next, 1990 D quarter dollar USA coin. If you're new here, you've just joined one of the most exciting communities for coin lovers and collectors who are always searching for hidden treasures that could be sitting right in their pocket change. Because today we're diving into an unbelievable story about a 1990 D Washington quarter that's believed to be worth as much as $6 million due to the rare combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and historical oddities that make it one of the most talked about and mysterious coins of the modern U.S. Mint era, a piece that reminds us that even something as ordinary as a 25-cent coin can turn into a multi-million-dollar discovery if you know what to look for. And this incredible example of a 1990 D quarter dollar is precisely that kind of find, a coin that defied all odds, shocked the numismatic world, and continues to captivate collectors with its strange blend of perfection and imperfection, with some experts calling it one of the most remarkable minting accidents in recent American history. When we talk about a coin being worth millions, people often assume it must be ancient or made of gold, but the 1990 D quarter proves that rarity doesn't always come from age or metal but from the fascinating story of how the coin came to be, and in this case, that story begins at the Denver Mint where millions of Washington quarters were struck that year, most of them perfectly ordinary, weighing 5.67 grams, made of a copper-nickel-clad composition over a pure copper core, but somewhere in that process, a few coins were struck with a mix of rare and unexpected errors that instantly transformed them from everyday currency into legendary pieces of numismatic history. The most famous 1990 D era quarter is known for having multiple die-related mistakes including off-center strikes, double dies, and even planchet mix-ups. But the $6 million example stands above them all because it combines a striking double die obverse with a planchet error that resulted in an extraordinary and almost otherworldly appearance. Collectors who have examined similar pieces describe a misalignment where George Washington's profile appears slightly doubled, his eyelids, and lettering around Liberty and In God We Trust, showing ghost-like duplication, while in the reverse, the eagle's feathers appear thicker and blurred, suggesting that the die used had either shifted slightly or been improperly prepared. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the evidence that it may have been struck on a transitional planchet, a leftover blank from a previous production year, or an experimental metal composition used during die testing, and these transitional errors are some of the most valuable in coin collecting history. as seen with other famous examples like the 1943 copper penny or the 1970s small date Lincoln cent. If this 1990D quarter indeed was struck on a planchet not meant for its year, perhaps a silver composition or a leftover prototype from an earlier batch, that alone could explain why collectors are willing to pay millions to own it. Another striking feature that adds to the mystery is the unusual weight readings reported from coin enthusiasts, who claim to have found variants weighing slightly heavier or lighter than the standard quarter, which hints at a possible wrong metal strike. And if this specific 1990D quarter was indeed struck on a 90% silver planchet intended for proof sets, or on a foreign coin blank mistakenly fed into the Denver press, that would make it essentially one of a kind. The rim of the coin also shows signs of a broad strike error, where the retaining collar failed to properly grip the coin during the strike, causing a slightly expanded edge that gives the quarter an almost medallion-like appearance, and when combined with doubling, wrong planchet composition, and potential misaligned dies, the overall result is a coin that could easily be mistaken for a mint experiment gone awry. Experts speculate that only a handful of such examples might exist, and among those, one has surfaced in pristine uncirculated condition, preserved by sheer luck, never entering circulation, and later authenticated by top grading services such as PCGS or NGC, where its grade, strike type, and error classification led to its valuation skyrocketing to an astonishing $6 million when it crossed the auction block or private sale negotiations between elite collectors. Now, what's truly intriguing about the 1990D quarter is that it sits at the crossroads of an important era for U.S. coinage, just before the massive design changes that came in the late 1990s with the 50-state quarters program, and that means coins from this period often went overlooked by casual collectors, increasing the chances that rare mint errors from 1990 still sit undiscovered in jars, drawers, or old change collections. It's possible that multiple mistakes occurred during a single striking session, such as a double die paired with a misfeed in the coin press, creating a unique visual combination unseen on other coins from the same batch. Furthermore, die fatigue, improper hub alignment, or mechanical doubling could have contributed to the irregular features that define this coin, giving Washington's portrait a slightly shadowed outline and the letters in quarter dollar a bold but fuzzy appearance. When magnified, the edges of the lettering reveal slight notching, a telltale sign of genuine hub doubling rather than simple mechanical vibration, which increases authenticity and desirability among seasoned collectors. Adding to its allure is the fact that Denver mint coins often carry subtle variations due to differences in die pressure, metal temperature, and striking speed, meaning even within the same production year, you can find wide-ranging results that make some quarters much rarer than others. In the case of this 1990D piece, researchers believe that a rare combination of wrong planchet metal, double die obverse, broad strike rim, and possible off-center misalignment might have all occurred simultaneously, which is astronomically rare. The odds of all those errors happening on a single coin are estimated to be in the millions to one, and when such a specimen survives in excellent condition with full mint luster and no major circulation damage, its value becomes nearly priceless to the right buyer. Stories of similar finds continue to inspire treasure hunters across the United States, as people sift through old rolls of quarters hoping to spot those subtle signs: a doubled liberty, an unusual tone, a thicker rim, or an off-metal sound when dropped on a hard surface, that could hint at a hidden fortune. The fascination with error coins comes from their unpredictability. They're the physical proof that even the most controlled minting processes can produce miracles by mistake. And the 1990D quarter valued at $6 million isn't just a collector's dream. It's a symbol of how attention to detail, patience, and passion can lead to life-changing discoveries. It's entirely possible that more of these rare 1990D era quarters exist, sitting unrecognized in circulation, waiting for someone sharp-eyed enough to notice the subtle differences. So, The next time you get change from a store, take a second look at your quarters, especially those with a D mint mark from 1990, because you might just be holding the next $1 million coin without realizing it. Each error tells a story. The story of a misaligned die, a tired mint press, or a small mistake that turned ordinary metal into extraordinary history. And this 1990 D quarter story is one for the ages, an example of how rarity, condition, and entry can combine to create something truly priceless. It's a coin that reminds us why collectors never stop searching, why every year's minting has its mysteries, and why the next unbelievable discovery could still be hiding in plain sight. Next, 1997 P quarter dollar USA coin. The most exciting episode on the Coins Explorer, the place where rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable minting mistakes come to life. And today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1997 P Washington quarter that's rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $1 million because of the mysterious errors and minting flaws that make it one of the most intriguing pieces of American coinage history. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking quarter from your pocket change, only to realize it could change your life forever, because beneath its simple copper-nickel exterior lies a world of possibilities that collectors dream about. The 1997 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932, and while most of these coins are still circulating and worth just 25 cents, a handful of them carry minting errors so rare that they've become legends in the world of numismatics. These errors range from striking mistakes, die misalignments, off-center strikes, double dies, missing mint marks, and planchet errors, each capable of turning an otherwise ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars depending on its rarity, condition, and historical appeal. The $1 million valuation tied to one particular 1997 P quarter comes from a perfect storm of factors, an extraordinary combination of die errors, visible doubling on key design elements, and an unusual minting anomaly involving the composition and strike pressure, resulting in a coin that defies standard production norms. In this case, the coin reportedly shows an extraordinary double strike where the obverse and reverse are both misaligned, creating a ghost-like second image of George Washington's portrait overlapping with its original. The date, 1997, and the word, Liberty, appear doubled and slightly rotated, while on the reverse, the eagle's wings show signs of die clash and partial blockage, meaning one die struck the other without a planchet in between, leaving raised outlines of design details from one side imprinted onto the other. Even more fascinating is that the planchet used in this striking appears to have been an experimental transitional type, possibly not meant for public release, which makes this coin incredibly rare and sought after by advanced collectors and error specialists. Coins like these often escape the mint by pure accident, slipped into circulation, or retained by mint employees unaware of their significance. The 1997 P quarter's $1 million valuation isn't just about its rarity. It's about the convergence of multiple errors that make it unique in every sense. It's the type of coin that challenges what we know about minting standards and reveals the hidden imperfections behind the precision of U.S. coin production. Some reports suggest that certain 1997 P quarters have been found with off-metal compositions, meaning they were struck on planchets intended for other denominations, like nickels or dimes, which makes them incredibly valuable. Imagine a quarter with the size of a quarter but the weight and metallic makeup of a nickel. Such anomalies can bring huge premiums at auction, sometimes fetching tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the clarity of the error and how well preserved the coin is. Add to that the possibility of double die obverse, where inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," show clear doubling under magnification, and you have another class of collectible that enthusiasts chase relentlessly. Even minor doubling in such a modern date can bring surprising value, because these errors are not supposed to happen given the improved minting technologies of the 1990s. Yet, the Philadelphia Mint, despite being one of the most advanced facilities, still occasionally produce mistakes, often due to worn dies, improper hubbing, or unexpected die clashes during high-volume runs. The 1997 P quarter is a perfect example of how small imperfections can transform into big money opportunities. Coin grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have certified a few of these 1997 quarters with rare error types, and while not every one reaches the $1 million threshold, high-grade examples with dramatic visible flaws and sharp strikes can easily surpass 5 or 6 figures in private sales or auctions. The combination of the P mint mark and the precise error details makes each example unique. No two are exactly alike. Some are struck 10 to 15% off-center, exposing part of the blank planchet, while others display broad strikes where the collar die failed, causing the coin to spread beyond its normal diameter. There are even rumors among collectors of a mule error involving the 1997 quarter, potentially paired with a mismatched reverse die, such as one intended for another denomination, though such coins are extremely rare and, if authenticated, could indeed command that $1 million value. The excitement around these coins is not just about the money, but the history and mystery they carry. Every error tells a story of what went wrong in a moment inside the mint, whether it was a misaligned die, a planchet mix-up, or a striking pressure anomaly. These moments, though unintended, created tangible artifacts that outlast generations and fascinate coin lovers worldwide. The 1997 P quarter's journey from an unnoticed minting mishap to a $1 million marvel is a testament to how the smallest errors can turn into treasures. Its surface details tell collectors everything: the doubled elements, the off-center images, the faint ghost impressions, and the curious differences in luster and tone, all serving as clues to its unusual creation. Professional graders often use microscopes to confirm these anomalies, ensuring they are genuine mint-made errors and not post-mint damage. A verified mint error holds enormous value, while a coin damaged after leaving the mint, even if similar in appearance, is worth only face value. That's why proper authentication and grading are crucial for anyone lucky enough to find a suspicious-looking 1997 P quarter in their pocket change. So, the big question remains: could you have one of these ultra-rare quarters hiding in a jar at home? It's entirely possible, as many of these coins slipped into circulation before their uniqueness was discovered. To identify potential $1 million 1997 P quarters, look closely for strong doubling on the obverse lettering, partial off-center strikes, or unusual thickness in the rim. A quarter with clear evidence of a double strike, die clash, or unusual metallic tone could be worth investigating. Even a slight misalignment between the obverse and reverse designs could signal something special. And if your coin feels lighter or heavier than normal, that could indicate an off-metal strike, one of the rarest and most valuable errors known. Collectors have been fascinated by error quarters for decades because they break the mold, literally. Each mistake reveals something about the minting process and keeps the hunt alive for everyday people who dream of discovering hidden wealth in their change. The thrill of possibly holding a coin that's worth a fortune makes the hobby even more exciting, and the 1997 P quarter embodies that thrill perfectly. It stands as proof that not every valuable coin is ancient or gold. Sometimes, modern pieces from the 1990s can bring life-changing money because of one tiny minting oversight. The fact that such coins exist reminds us how even the most routine production can yield miracles of imperfection. As collectors continue to seek out and study these unique quarters, their values may continue to rise, especially as fewer high-quality examples remain unaccounted for. The story of the 1997 P quarter that reached $1 million valuation will keep inspiring new generations of treasure hunters, teaching them to look closer, to never dismiss a coin for looking too ordinary, and to understand that sometimes the smallest details hide the biggest rewards. So next time you come across a 1997 quarter with a P mint mark, take a second look, because that unassuming coin in your pocket might just be the next legendary error piece that rewrites coin collecting history and proves once again that real treasures are still out there, waiting to be found by those curious enough to look. Last 1992 P quarter dollar USA coin. We uncover the most fascinating and unexpected stories hiding within ordinary pocket change. And today we're diving into one of the most surprising and rarest finds in modern American coinage. The 1992 P Washington quarter that has stunned collectors and experts by being valued at a staggering $2 million because of its mysterious and rare minting errors that transformed what should have been a simple 25-cent coin into one of the most valuable quarters ever discovered, capturing the imagination of numismatists around the world who constantly seek the hidden treasures overlooked by millions in circulation every single day. The 1992 P quarter, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, was never supposed to become a legend, yet due to a combination of minting mistakes, planchet anomalies, die misalignments, and potentially transitional composition features, this coin turned into a numismatic marvel. Most quarters minted in 1992 were made from the standard copper-nickel-clad composition featuring George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. But one exceptional 1992 P quarter stands apart because of striking irregularities visible to the naked eye and under magnification, making it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Some experts speculate that this particular coin may have been struck using experimental dies or a leftover planchet from a different denomination, which could explain its unique metallic tone, slightly off-color surface, and irregular weight that doesn't quite match the standard 5.67 grams expected for a normal clad quarter. Collectors who examined it noticed faint but undeniable doubling on Washington's profile, particularly around the nose, lips, and eye, with the word Liberty showing a shadow-like doubling effect that immediately indicates a dramatic die error. The motto, "In God We Trust," also shows minor, but distinctive separation lines, suggesting the dies used for this strike may have been improperly hubbed or slightly misaligned during the pressing process, a mistake that can lead to extreme rarity when the error survives quality control and enters circulation. The reverse side of this quarter reveals more fascinating traits, with the eagle's wings showing ghostly outlines suggesting a second impression, possibly caused by a die shift or mechanical doubling, while the word United States of America appears slightly distorted as if the metal moved under pressure, producing a warped look uncommon for this series. What makes this coin even more extraordinary is the faint evidence of an off-center strike where a portion of the reeded edge appears thinner and the design is shifted toward one side, indicating that the planchet might not have been perfectly aligned when struck. These subtle imperfections contribute to its immense desirability, as each error adds uniqueness, and in combination, they create a one-of-a-kind coin that can never be replicated exactly. Some professional graders and auction experts have even theorized that this 1992 P quarter could have been struck on a leftover planchet from the previous year's experimental run of 90% silver-proof planchets, which were being phased out at the San Francisco Mint, but may have mistakenly ended up in Philadelphia's minting facility, leading to the possibility that this piece contains a higher silver content than normal quarters. If proven, this would make it not just a major mint error, but a transitional planchet coin, which is among the rarest types of errors known in numismatics, often commanding astronomical prices. Transitional errors like these are so rare because they happen only when the U.S. Mint switches designs or metal compositions, and a few older blanks accidentally get struck with the New Year's dies, resulting in coins that technically shouldn't exist. This phenomenon is what makes other famous coins, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1977 D silver-clad error, so valuable, and the 1992 P quarter joins that exclusive club of million-dollar mistakes. Beyond the technical details, The story of how this coin was discovered adds to its mystique. It was reportedly found by a collector searching through a roll of quarters obtained from a local bank, proving that treasures of immense value still circulate in the most unexpected places. After sending it to a professional grading service for authentication, experts confirmed the presence of multiple errors including doubling, die cracks near Washington's jawline, faint die clash marks on the reverse between the eagle's tail feathers, and micro-variations in the rim thickness that indicate possible color dye damage. Each of these imperfections, while minor in isolation, contributes to the cumulative rarity and intrigue of this incredible piece. Some numismatists have also pointed out that this coin's mint mark, the small p, indicating the Philadelphia Mint, appears slightly misplaced and possibly repunched, which adds yet another layer of collectability, as repunched mint marks are among the most sought-after varieties for error coin enthusiasts. The eye appeal of the coin, despite its flaws, is said to be stunning, with brilliant luster and minimal wear, suggesting it may have been preserved unintentionally soon after minting, avoiding the typical damage caused by years of circulation. When this coin surfaced at a major coin auction, fierce bidding quickly pushed its price into the millions, with private collectors and institutions recognizing its historical and numismatic importance. The final sale of over $2 million not only cemented its place among the most valuable modern U.S. coins, but also reignited public interest in error coin hunting, inspiring countless people to start checking their pocket change more carefully. The value of such a coin doesn't just come from its metal content or face value. It's the story, the mystery, and the near impossibility of its existence that drives collectors to pay extraordinary amounts. Minting errors like this are the result of a complex mechanical process that, while designed for precision, occasionally lets slip these tiny accidents that create history. Factors such as die fatigue, misaligned planchets, pressure inconsistencies, or accidental restriking can result in fascinating results that escape detection during the mint's quality control phase. In the case of the 1992 P quarter, it's this combination of subtle yet significant anomalies that makes it a perfect storm of collectability, a coin that tells a story not only about minting technology, but also about the unpredictable nature of human oversight and machine imperfection. Even after its discovery, experts continue to debate the full extent of its errors, as advanced imaging has revealed microscopic anomalies in the lettering and rim that could suggest overpolished dies, or even partial brockage impressions from a previously struck coin. Every new detail uncovered adds to the allure, deepening the mystery surrounding how such a rare piece came into existence. For coin enthusiasts and historians alike, this quarter represents more than money. It represents a tangible connection to the minting process, a relic of mechanical artistry where perfection met mistake to create something extraordinary. It reminds collectors that even the smallest denomination coins can carry immense value when rarity, condition, and error align in just the right way. Stories like this inspire collectors to examine every coin closely, because the next multi-million-dollar treasure might still be hiding in plain sight, waiting for a keen-eyed explorer to uncover it. So the next time you get change back from a store or open a fresh roll of quarters, take a careful look at the date, the mint mark, the edges, and every tiny detail, because one of those might be the next legendary coin like the 1992 P quarter, a simple piece of metal that became a $2 million masterpiece, a reminder that the world of numismatics is full of surprises for those curious enough to look closely. And that's exactly what makes coin collecting such a thrilling adventure for treasure hunters and historians around the globe.